It's Chris Smith time. Oh, hello, everybody. It's me, Chris Smith, and today I'm here to review Back to the Future, the musical, which I saw recently at the beautiful Hollywood Pantages Theater in Hollywood, California. So, Back to the Future, I've been waiting for a long time. You know, you may not know this actually, but it's based on Back to the Future, the 1985 film, directed by Robert Zemeckis and written by Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis. And and it had the music by Alan Silvestri. That classic score that said dun 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 dun. Well, you'll be happy to know that Back to the Future, the musical, also includes the music that you loved from the movie. The score with those great, great themes. It also features such hit songs as The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News, Earth Angel, Johnny Be Good, and Back in Time. But all original music as well, with which is by Alan Silvestri and Glenn Ballard, and the book is by Bob Gale. Now, I was very excited when Back to the Future started in London. It started in 2020 in Manchester. And here's an unfortunate thing. Oh, and here's the cast recording, which I've had for a while. Here's the unfortunate thing. It opened, started previews in February of 2020, and it opened March 11th, 2020. And you know what happened right around that time? COVID. So everything shut down, and when Back to the Future finally opened in 2021, it was when it moved to the West End. So that was most unfortunate timing. Now, I've got the trilogy of the movies right here. We had Back to the Future in 1985. We had Back to the Future 2 in 1989, and Back to the Future 3, which is the Wild West one, in 1990. Oh, and forgive the noise, everyone. They're doing pounding on my roof, and I can't wait until they're gone because it goes on constantly. And if I want to get this done, then I have to do it now. We're just going to have to listen to it. So I do apologize. It's about this teenager, Marty McFly, who is friends with this wacky scientist, inventor type named Emmett Doc Brown. And Doc Brown has invented a time machine out of a DeLorean automobile. So wackiness ensues, and Marty ends up driving the DeLorean at 88 miles per hour, which is what causes it to go back in time. And he goes back to 1955. It's in Hill Valley, California. And yes, that's basically what the plot is. So, what you loved from the movie is in the musical. Now, I've always enjoyed going to movie musicals, or movies that were created from a musical, because I think it's interesting. Sometimes it's exactly almost word for word like it is in the movie. 9 to 5 was very, very similar. Back to the Future is also very similar. There are some, like Beetlejuice, that take a deviation from what the original is about. They might make improvements. Like, I think that Beetlejuice the musical is much better than Beetlejuice the movie. And between you and me, I liked Beetlejuice better than I liked Beetlejuice. And it's considered a classic by some. So anyway, Back to the Future, the musical, opened on Broadway in 2023, and then the North American tour started in 2024. Now, this is also, I said this recently about another one, Kimberly Akimbo. I thought the North American tour happened very quickly, and Back to the Future, I expected this to take at least another year, but we got the Back to the Future tour this year. So I'm very happy about that. And since I've always loved the movie, I was looking forward to the musical. Now, and I did like it. It's true. Like I said, the book is by Bob Gale. Pretty much stays true to the movie. Instead of Doc Brown getting shot by those terrorists with machine guns at the beginning, now Doc Brown gets like plutonium poisoning or whatever. And he's glowing and everything, and Marty has to race to get help for him, and that's why he goes back in time. He's not escaping from the terrorists with the machine guns, which is a little too much for a family musical, I think. Now, on the West End, it starred Roger Bart, Ollie Dobson, and Hugh Coles. And when it went to Broadway, Roger Bart, who was playing Doc Brown, went with it to Broadway, and so did Hugh Coles as George McFly. They got Casey Likes for the version on Broadway. Here's the Broadway poster. I've had it hanging in my living room for a while. There's Casey Likes. Roger Bart, of course. Great poster. Looks just like the movie. So the fact that the poster for the musical looks just like the movie poster lets you know ahead of time that you're going to get basically the movie on the stage, which I don't mind at all. More singing, though. Of course, here is Ollie Dobson on the cast recording from London. It's hard to see that. Here's Doc Brown with the clock tower. Save the clock tower. I thought Ollie Dobson, according to scenes that I had seen from London, and of course the cast recording, I thought that his Marty McFly seemed a lot more like Michael J. Fox. It was almost like he was doing a really good Michael J. Fox impression, voice-wise and everything. Oh, I'm so sorry about that awful noise. But we on the tour got a different Marty McFly and of course a different Doc Brown. On the tour we have Caden Broch as Marty. Brock could be. Don Stevenson as Doc Brown. We had Burke Swanson as George McFly. Zan Barub, is it Barub or Barube? Barub as Lorraine Baines McFly. And Goldie Wilson and Marvin Berry are played by Cartrice Tucker. And Biff is played by Ethan Rogers. Now, we had an understudy the night that I went. But here is the inside of the program. Also, look there. Advertising that Once Upon a Mattress is about to start at the Amundsen Theater downtown. I'm seeing it next week. Starts December 10th, which I guess was last night as of this taping. Here's the cast list for Back to the Future. You can find this online, so you don't need to worry. And lately I've been complaining that those little white slips aren't in the programs that much anymore, but they still put them in when someone joins the cast. And this one says that Michael Seltzer has joined as a swing, which is nice. Here is the cast. Now, as I said, we didn't have Ethan Rogers as Biff, and from the looks of him and from the production photos that I saw, he looks like he would have been a really good Biff. The Biff that we had was very good. He was fine, but and I've got to find out who that was. See, I need my little slip. but I didn't think he was as big as the other Biff. He seemed a little smaller and less intimidating than was in the pictures. Here's just a shot of all the page with the songs on it. Yeah, so Don Stevenson is our Doc Brown. He was fine. I would have loved to have seen Roger Bart. I'm a big fan of Roger Bart. But Don Stevenson has been in Trouble in Mind, The Producers, A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, Dracula, Private Lives, Titanic, Parade by Jeeves, Rock of Ages, Wonderful Town, etc., etc. He's done a lot. So he was a fine Doc Brown. Now, my favorites in this production were Burke Swanson as George McFly and Zan Barub as Lorraine. And here they are. I thought they were the standouts of the whole production. And George is such a funny character. Just the movements. He really captured George McFly from the movie. I just thought that he really grabbed, but they both really grabbed us. I thought they had high energy. And there were a lot of songs that I like, new songs. Of course, we love The Power of Love and all that. But Marty has a song called Got No Future. There's a really good love song for Jennifer and Marty, that's his girlfriend, that's called Wherever We're Going. Wherever we're going is all right with me. I'm loving just knowing you're going with me. A future together is our destiny. Wherever we're going is all right, all right, all right, all right with me. Just a lovely little song for them. It really tells you that they're each other's destiny. There's a really good song called Something About That Boy by Lorraine, or sung by Lorraine, and also Biff and 3D and Slick, his goons, sing it. Doc has a good song called For the Dreamers. Goldie Wilson, Mayor Goldie Wilson is really good in it. In our version, played by Cartrice Tucker. And that one, his song is called Gotta Start Somewhere, and it's where he's singing and sweeping the floor, and because Marty says that he's going to be mayor. This is when he's back in time. You all remember. And that gives Goldie Wilson, who's sweeping the floors at the little diner, he gets the idea that he could be mayor. And there's a good song called Put Your Mind to It with George and his future son Marty. Now, there were a few things that I didn't really enjoy. I don't mind so much when, Doc Brown is singing and these girls just start popping up as his backup dancers. That's fine. That's like a little musical theater trope that often happens. You often have like people that just come out of nowhere, like in Legally Blonde, the musical, where Elwood's sorority sisters are in her mind, and they're sort of like a Greek chorus, and they just pop up when she's away at college, because that way they're still in the program, they're still in the show, but she is the only one who can see them, and they're sort of acting as her Greek chorus. Which is great because they're from a sorority, so it's all very Greek. Now, that one works perfectly. In this, it's fine one time maybe to have the dancers with Doc Brown. The girls, he even says, Marty says, "Who are those girls?" And he says, they just start dancing whenever I start singing. I like things like that. That's fun. But then at the beginning of Act 2, there's this big number with Doc singing a song called 21st Century. It's very futuristic and weird lights and weird costumes, and the girls and Doc are dancing around. And it was like one of those things that, in a movie that you would see where people are at a musical and it's like shockingly bad, and they're like, huh? What's going on? And I even turned to Marco. I was like, what's happening? Of course, it turned out to be just a dream in Doc Brown's mind, But why did we really need to open Act 2 with a dream sequence that was just him singing about the 21st century? And he's in 1955 when he's singing it, so it's like it seemed like sort of forced in there. I was a little bit underwhelmed by some of the scenic design. Now, the DeLorean thing is great. The car is there. There's a rotating stage. They've got great special effects, great visuals, on the screen behind them. But some of the sets that rolled out, it almost seemed like a bus and truck tour, like a sort of a little bit low budget in some of the scenes. And I know that on Broadway it probably looks much better. They have the hydraulic lifts and things that come up through the floor. It's hard. You can't do that, of course, at all these traveling theaters, especially if you have a short run. And some of it seemed like that. And also, some of the energy seemed a little low the night that I was there. I don't know if it was me. I don't think so. But it just seemed like these people had been doing this show for a long, long time. Some of them. And that they were tired and maybe a little bored. Just in parts of the show. I really liked it, mind you. Don't get me wrong. Also, the wig that Marty was wearing, hold on. It was just distracting. It didn't look like this at all. It looked like a Marty McFly wig. And, I mean, if this was not if this was his real hair, then my apologies. But it was distractingly wiggy in color, in shape. I mean, I kept looking. I was like, oh, I wish we could see his actual hair. We don't need his hair to look like Michael J. Fox's or whatever they were going for. So yes, basically that's what I thought of Back to the Future. I really liked it. I thought it was fun. The DeLorean scenes were great, and I recommend it. Now, if you are somewhere in the path of the North American tour, you can see it in Seattle, Washington, December 10th through the 22nd. Costa Mesa, December 26th through January 5th. Makes a great Christmas present, everyone, or Hanukkah present, or Kwanzaa present, whatever. San Diego, California, January 14th to the 19th. Denver, Colorado, it's going to be there, January 22nd through February 9th. San Francisco, February 12th through March 9th. And then it's going on to Little Rock, Arkansas, Dallas, Texas, Kansas City, Missouri, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Florida, Greensboro, North Carolina in May, Greenville, South Carolina, also in May, Durham, North Carolina, also in May, short runs, and Knoxville, Tennessee, Hartford, Connecticut in June, Providence, Rhode Island. You can check all these out on their website, which is at backtothefuturemusical.com. So check there for the full list. And if you can get a chance, and I did buy the magnet. I already had the poster and, of course, the CD. But if you're interested in Back to the Future, do give it a try. It's fun for the whole family. But it might make you want to come home and just watch the movie. That was my biggest takeaway. But I'm glad I went. Okay, I will see you all the next time that it's Christmas time. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.